Just click the button, so we're recording officially.
Okay,
Awesome.
perfect. Okay, yeah, let's get started then. Timothy, do you want to say a prayer to kick us off?
Absolutely, yeah. I'll go ahead.
Thank you.
Our Heavenly Father, we thank Thee very much that we have this opportunity to gather and for the technology that allows us to do so. We're grateful for the education we're receiving, and we pray that Thou continue to help us and bless us with Thy Spirit to teach us. We pray that we'll be able to be inspired in ways that we can best help our fellow man in this assignment. And we pray for these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Cool. Yeah, okay, was that?
Tomorrow, but she'll come on now, so.
Oh, she thought it was tomorrow?
Yeah, she just said she'll get on right now, though, so.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay, so let's all pull up our PowerPoint presentation, and then what we can do is we can screen share, and then that way. So right now it's set, McKenna. Right now it's set so that we can only see your video, but there's an option where you can change it so that whoever is speaking pops up.
Oh, weird. I actually have it set to only your video. I didn't know that it was.
Yeah, so only your video is going to be just you.
I don't know how to did that change anything what I just did?
Yeah, it did. It did change some. You kind of you like popped down for a while. Well, I'm just trying. Yeah, I'm just trying to see how. Unless you want to pull them up. Okay.
Yeah, what I could do is whenever somebody screen shares, I could just click on theirs so that it's the main.
Oh, you can do that? Okay.
Yeah, because it's going to record whatever's from my perspective. Because I was the one that clicked broadcast. So if you share your screen, I'll just click on your video and it will pull yours up. Does that work?
Yeah, that works. I'm just curious. Yeah, whatever way is easiest, so that we can all see what everyone else is saying at the same time, right? Like,
are you okay? Yeah, I'm not sure because I clicked on one person's box already. I don't know how to undo it. Oh, there we go. That might work.
Yeah, I'm still seeing your video, whatever you do, but
that didn't change it at all. What I just did.
No, not on my end. I don't know about Timothy, but
yeah, because now mine's changing with whoever talks. So I wonder if it's just your computer. If you're clicked on.
Timothy,
everybody
what is yours?
Mine just shows I'm actually on my phone, and I can click on whoever's talking to bring up their thing, but it's just default to mine.
Yeah, that's working for me too now, actually. Okay, well, that's great. So long as we all can do it, that's fine. Yeah, that just worked for me, so that's great.
Awesome. Okay, well, yeah, I've got mine pulled up whenever you guys want to.
Yeah, great. Yeah, well, I'll start because I think we're probably going to use yours because, yeah, I like that idea too, McKenna. But I'll just quickly kind of go over the two ideas that I had.
Okay.
If you want to pull up my screen. So the first one was the hair school idea. I don't know if you all had the chance to review all of the different ideas. But it was basically, the first idea was a hair school that offers free and inexpensive haircuts to the homeless and lower income individual and families in large metropolitan areas in the US. And so basically the problem we're trying to solve is twofold. Number one, it's this idea that a lot of lower income people and the homeless don't necessarily have access to those kinds of services of grooming and dress and grooming that can help bolster your self-confidence and just generally improve your quality of life. Mm-hmm. That's the number one thing. And the number two thing is that a lot of hair schools struggle to find clients because a lot of people don't want
practice. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Don't want to be someone's guinea pig. So that kind of reconciles the two because the haircut isn't horrible. It's just sometimes there's mess ups. But offering it as a free service for the homeless and offering it as a discounted service for lower income individuals and families could reconcile that, and then is just also kind of like a cool idea and concept to do in terms of nonprofit work. That was the number one idea. And the number two idea was not so much well, nonprofit, but also just kind of like a local incentive initiative idea. Was a student-owned and operated snow plowing service. So that would be relevant specifically for Rexburg. I don't know how many of you guys are on campus. I'm actually on campus, and like I don't know if you have been on campus, but like plowing in Rexburg is atrocious. Like the streets are horrible, and it's just generally that way in Eastern Idaho. And so the concept would be to create like a business model that allows entrepreneurial students to start snow plowing contracting businesses, and then prospect out in Rexburg, and then in Idaho Falls and Ryrie and Rigby, and go to businesses and individuals and kind of get that going. So that was kind of the idea. You offer discounted pricing for the clients, and then it gives students the opportunity to learn how to run a business, get investment to buy the equipment, the capital, and do that. So those were my ideas. Yeah, I'm always a little bit more like nonprofits I kind of struggle with, to be honest, because I'm kind of a numbers guy and like a finance guy. So like I kind of always look for like the money.
It's all about the profit.
Yeah, exactly. So nonprofit I love, like I'm super interested in, but it's not always my cup of tea to like try to figure it out. So I really like your idea, McKenna. I think it's a little bit more like human driven by the human aspect. So that's cool. But those are my ideas. I see Morgan's on here now. Hi, Morgan.
Hi. Sorry, I'm late. Today had kind of like a weird beginning to it, and it just has continued from that point.
Yeah, no worries at all. No worries at all. We're recording anyway, so anyone will have access.
Oh, okay.
So just to kind of get you up to speed, so we're all going over our business ideas, and then what we'll do is we'll kind of brainstorm, pick the one that we think is best for the group. And then the assignment is essentially to create a canvas, like a BMC for all of like the whole idea. And so what we'll do is we'll just kind of divvy up the different blocks on the BMC, and then have some of us do each of those. Okay. So that's the idea. So we're just kind of going over everyone's ideas right now and give a chance to explain. So whoever wants to go next, Timothy, McKenna, Morgan, whoever's ready can go.
Do you want to go ahead, McKenna?
Sure. Yeah, I'll go ahead. By the way, I didn't see you share anything, Albert, so I didn't.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, that's really awkward.
We can only see your face, but that's okay.
Okay.
Like, I feel like if we need to look at it, we could look at it. So.
Yeah,
I think I just probably forgot to screen share. I forgot I was.
No worries.
That's my bad. But this is the document. So you see that I'm not lying. I really did have this pulled up. Yep. I mean, it's not really super useful since it's just a document. But oh my gosh. Okay.
Okay, cool. Let me share really quick my screen. Okay, so I think from the directions it said just pick one of our ideas and then elaborate on the value proposition of it. And so I had two ideas, and one of them was creating a foundation that teaches teens and emerging young adults to plan for their lives and know how to adult. Like adulting is like this new millennial word that we have created, and I think it's really great. So yeah, so I just put that like the emerging adults don't know what they're doing. Not everybody has parents who teach them everything. And so a lot of them are uneducated. I am an example of that. Like my parents just kind of tossed me out when I was 18, and I had to figure so many things out. And it was super, super stressful. Like I developed a lot of anxiety and a lot of depression because of it. And I know it sounds really dumb, but like as I've learned how to do basic things like do my own taxes, write my own resume, be successful in getting a job, it's really boosted my confidence and well-being. And so I'm really passionate about this idea. The value proposition it attacks several things really. As you enable people to provide for themselves and to know what they're doing in the real world, you're going to eliminate problems like poverty because you're increasing people's financial responsibility. You're going to target things like mental health. You're decreasing the amounts of young adult depression and anxiety by increasing their capabilities and awareness by educating them. And that also taps into suicide prevention caused by high stress. And then you're also promoting more effective economy and family building by decreasing unemployment rates and the debt crisis in society. So that's going to help people contribute better. I just think of like how many people, like my sister's in like $3,000 of, I sound like I have horrible parents and I don't, but like I love my parents, but I think they just wanted us to figure it out. And so they just let us. I really
That's probably
wish
how they figured it out.
Yeah, but like my husband's parents like have taught him so much, and like we both came to the same point, which is good, but we needed to be taught in different ways. Anyways, what I'm saying is my sister's $3,000 in credit card debt, and she doesn't know the implications of what that means. Like she doesn't understand how interest rates work. She doesn't understand how it affects her credit and how that's going to affect her wanting to buy a home in the future. Like my husband and I have pulled out several credit cards and we use those and pay them off so that we can build credit so that we can buy a home, because I never used a credit card, which means I could never buy a home if I wanted to, even if I had no debt, et cetera, et cetera. So anyways, those are my value propositions. And I thought about the customer segment is really those who are going to fund us. It's not the people who are receiving the service of the nonprofit. And so I just put like local wealthy people as a place to start. I just went to a recent gala for a nonprofit called New Leaf, and it was seriously just a bunch of rich people in Mesa, Arizona that wanted to donate to something good. They wanted to feel good. They made the theme of the gala superheroes, and anytime somebody bid on something, they would like call them and be like, "You're the superhero. You're such a superhero." It was like really feel good, you know? And this nonprofit got a bunch of money. Someone bid like $10,000 just out of nowhere. And so I put the pain and gain is they have a bunch of money. They don't know what to do with it. I know that seems like a tough problem to have, but for some people it actually is. Wish we could be them. The other customer segment is politicians like Mitt Romney. He wants people to vote for him, which means he has to show that he's behind a really good cause, and a cause that like actually improves the economy, the national economy, and is providing an actual solution. If people can see that that's what he represents and that's what he funds, they're going to be more likely to support him. And then the last one is big business people. This is actually my sister-in-law's dad. He's a CPA in Florida, very successful one, but he's really good at educating his kids about this. It's a cause he believes in, but he doesn't have time to do something like this on his own, so he would be more than willing to fund an organization knowing that it's taking care of the thing he's passionate about. So yeah, I don't want to keep talking too much, so that's part of what I've done.
That looks really good. Morgan, did you want to share yours or?
Yeah, sure. So I really like your idea, mechanics. I think that for a nonprofit, it's really important to have like that human characteristic at the heart of it. So for mine, I thought about creating a system for animal shelters, like so that they can have social media outreach. Because I think that a lot of shelters kind of stick to their own business, and they're not really, I mean, there's some that are really good and they figured out a system to get people involved, but it's just like, you'll see like on YouTube, like there'll be like a shelter that posts videos that get really popular of their animals, and it's kind of like, oh man, I wish I lived nearby so I could go adopt that cat. Like, that's so cute. But like, why are not more shelters like doing that, and do they even have a desire to do that, etc. So I thought it'd be really helpful to like set up and train these shelters like how to be popular on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, you know, whatever channels you want to look at, and then also connect those shelters with social media influencers so that they can kind of have an extended audience and platform to get their message out there and to show off their animals that are in need of adoption. So that was kind of the main idea of mine.
Cool.
My plan, yeah.
Cool.
Instead of just having those like Sarah McLachlan videos on TV all the time, like spread the word more. That's awesome. That's really cool.
You could almost create a centralized just site that somebody goes to and types in the address, and it all goes through that one site, and it just shows local clinics, and the clinics just have to upload the images or something like that.
Yeah, that's a good idea too.
You like Tinder for puppies?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yes.
Swipe right, swipe left. Like, oh, really like,
yes.
I want to see what more has gone.
Oh man, that would be great, actually.
Cool. Well, my idea was I had two ideas. One of them, after thinking about it, really probably when it worked out, it was kind of taking the Goodwill concept but applying it on a global basis. But the problem with that, after I thought about it, is Goodwill takes a lot of big items and furniture, and those are just would be too hard to ship and to move, as opposed to clothes and things and food like that. But my other idea was to, I didn't know if they had something like this already, but to create an organization kind of like, I don't know if you've done Feed My Starving Children out here, McKenna, but they're a nonprofit that puts food kits together, and then they ship the food kits all around the world. My idea was to do more of a group that puts together kits for community gardens and puts all the supplies and different things that are needed in order to get one started as just kind of a nonprofit, and then to do education on how to do that, which I thought would be cool, but it still kind of runs into some problems, whereas some areas don't have the necessary plots to do a community garden. You could always do something small, sure, but and then there's the problem with regulating it. Who's gonna get to profit from it, and who's gonna actually take care of it? Is it only gonna end up being one person? But those were my two ideas that I just shot down. So yeah, that's all I had for my ideas.
I like that a lot because I feel like it focuses on, like, one of the key aspects of making a good nonprofit is focusing on this root of the problem and providing a solution rather than just like make up for it, like actually. And I feel like part of that comes with teaching the people how to fish instead of just providing them the fish.
Exactly.
And so I like the idea of like kits, like instead of just giving them meals, like Feed My Starving Children, like teaching people how to be self-sufficient. That's like a key characteristic. I think that's good.
Thanks. Well, Albert, what would you like to do now?
Well, I was just going to comment on your idea first. I really agree with McKenna on the idea of like, that's exactly the words that came to mind, was teaching a man to fish. And I think like, yeah, I think those are usually the most successful nonprofits, are the ones that really begin with the end in mind, because you're going to have to leverage funding. You're going to have to get a lot of people to back you up financially, but also in terms of marketing and promotion and that. And so if you can have something very tangible that's immediately relatable, then you can have that much more pull and leverage in your marketing and in your funding. So yeah, I think with all of that, probably the most like realistic or possible at scale is probably McKenna's idea. I think like, I don't know, I think it's probably more personal to me. I mean, I grew up in Canada, and like no one in my family is members, and so I left at 18 on a mission, and then I came to school, and like I had to figure it out, right? Like it's kind of the same thing. I'm international. I have no idea how US anything works, and so you just kind of have to figure it out. And I think that process is so awesome if
you have people that can help you and that can guide you along. If you don't have resources, it sucks and it's burdensome and it's terrifying. So I love the idea. I think that's fantastic. So I think, yeah, I think that's probably what I would want to move forward with, but happy to hear what you guys have to say.
Morgan, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think like that's something that I would have liked in high school, like just have a class about life skills, like how to use a credit card, how to not, be irresponsible with it. Like basic life skills. There's really no system of teaching these things. You just sort of kind of stumble as you go. So that's something that I also feel passionate about. So I think that we should move forward with that.
All right. Well, I think it's unanimous then. I think that's the one we're going to do. So let's do it.
Cool.
Okay.
If you guys want, I can send you. I mean, I posted it on the discussion board, but I could just send you a document that has like the description, so you can kind of get like more.
Okay.
But obviously, like as a group, we should add to it. We should polish it, and like, I mean, I threw out some examples of like teaching people about taxes and stuff, but there's other things like how to change your tire. There's things like register your car, how to make a budget. Like it's not all financial. Like it can also be like hands-on working things, how to buy tools. I don't know, how to cook, something like that. But
yeah.
I think it could be fun. Like we could have little events and like workshops and like make it appealing, not just like this, like, oh, my mom's making me do a tax class. This is gonna be so boring. Like it'll be awesome and fun, like a big TED conference. Like we'll teach people like this will make you a better adult. Like you'll be able to contribute to society. Anyways, so yeah, I could just email you guys that document.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, if you can email that, that's awesome. So I think for me, like, well, so what the assignment wants us to do right now, and I think what makes sense as well, is just to kind of like define a little bit more clearly what the actual operations are, just so we can understand how we can complete like the Canvas blocks and everything. So I think my biggest question is not so much like what we teach. My question is more like the format. Like, is it like
how you teach it?
Like, yeah, is it like one-on-one mentoring, or is it like a class for like a group, or is it like a one-on-one class? Do people pay at all? Is it free complete? Because like a nonprofit doesn't mean people don't pay. Usually people pay for most nonprofit services. It just means that it's not run
It's filtering back into
for profit. Yeah.
Like,
yeah. And so I guess that for me is more what the question is, like what does it look like? Like what does the conveying of knowledge look like? Is it manuals? Is it like books with like webinars? Is it seminars? Like what does it look like, you know?
Yeah.
What were you imagining, McKenna, when you thought of it?
So yeah, so I can actually share my screen because I wrote about it in my little in my ideas. One second. But what I was imagining was several variations of implementation. We could do mentoring, but I was thinking doing classes, individual classes, workshops, and then large events like a TEDx conference or like a TED conference or something where we get a bunch of people together. They pay for their ticket. They come, they learn, they meet inspirational, successful people. They get hyped and they walk away with skills. But then we could also run it on a smaller scale by getting other like high schools involved that can run like an elective class or like an after school club to teach maybe like 20 to 30 kids at a time. But I also thought it would be good to have a website where you could go and click a video and say like, I have no idea how to fill out a W-2 or what the heck's a W-2? How do I identify it? How do I fill out my W-4? You find a video, it's friendly, it's upbeat, it's fun, you have the resource to go to directly, and our funds will go towards making that realistic and making that accessible.
Okay.
Totally. I think the events are on point. I kind of think the online side is probably what we want to leverage the most. For a number of reasons. I think number one reason is that people need it not just in the US. and there's very quickly going to be a need for that kind of service to be offered elsewhere. And so I think if we can create like an international repository, basically, of like, yeah, mentorship videos and like tutorials and how to X and Y, that's great. My other question is, so that's great logistically, but who produces the content? Is it in-house? Like, is it all us that does it? Or is it, like, I think what could be really cool and really scalable is if we asked professionals to do it. Like, we have an accountant and how to do the W-2s and like the 1040s and like do the taxes based off of that. I think that would be huge, because then that's how we scale it to other countries as well, because we don't have to do it ourselves. We don't have to, because we don't have that much know-how, and we're going to want to venture into different fields that we don't really know about. So if we can have professionals within those fields be accredited or evaluated somehow to know that they're legit, and then they can provide the content, or like we can like send out some people and like shoot the video, so it's all like uniform and beautiful, but then it's also like the knowledge that's inside that industry. That would be awesome. And I think there's an inherent incentive for professionals to participate in that, because then they can say, hey, like, I offered content for this, you can check it out here. And then that can become like, that becomes basically like an MVP for them when they're offering their services to clients. They can say, yeah, I actually have a basic video on how to do taxes online here. So that can be beneficial for them, and also the human aspect of the fact that they're participating with a nonprofit can be really cool.
So have you heard of the online thing called Masterclass? Basically what they've done is they've taken people that are in the top of their game. They've got Stephen Curry, they've got Gordon Ramsay, and they have online video classes teaching about how to be good at whatever they're good at. And so that's kind of how I imagine it too, Albert, is the same principle as finding somebody like Dave Ramsey or you know, to talk about finances and budgeting, and to do a video, create a video series almost, that people can go and watch online. That way you can get it to so many more people if it is. But then also having like the TED Talks things, we could have special speakers come and get more in-depth detail on that. But as far as the platform, I think an online service is going to be the best way, or should be the main thing. And then you can always scale it to schools and other things after that. But yeah, the masterclass.com, if you go look at it, it's just kind of cool how they have it set up. But that's kind of how I was imagining would be a efficient way.
I definitely think that I have a couple questions really quick, but I definitely think that there's value in like adding the website and definitely making that a resource, but not focusing too much on it, because there are resources online out there, but we want teens and young adults to be exposed to like the event and the community feel first, because technically like that's how I learned, is I went online and figured things out, but not everybody is motivated to do that. Not everybody recognizes that Google is like a really good resource. And so if they're exposed to the organization through school or through like seeing the events in the community, they could get hyped through that and then be like, oh, there's also a website. I'm going to use that afterwards to supplement what I've learned, to continue to explore and to share with my friends. Does that make sense? Because I feel like if we get too focused on the website, and maybe I was misunderstanding, but then I feel like it could just be too similar to the master's class or too similar to what's already out there. And a big important aspect of the nonprofit is making sure that there's that community feel to it.
Gotcha. So more focus on having like a representative go and teach in person.
But I mean, I think we just need to convey that in our project, like,
right.
But as far as what we can do right now is work on the website, like Albert said, and like, I don't know, maybe I'm misunderstanding you, but that's just something that I wanted to put out there, just as to add to like the vision of things.
So here's what I think. My main concern with having it be very physical and in person, I think I 100% agree with you that like that ultimately what's most important about this is the human experience of like having someone that's like, hey, it's gonna be okay, like you can do your taxes and you'll be fine, you know. I think that that is huge. But also I'm just curious, like if we do this physically, like where do we do it and why there as opposed to somewhere else, you know? Like do we start operations in like DC and New York and LA and like, or like what, how do we, because my thing is like that's what makes sense would be to do it in large areas, like large metropolitan areas. But then that's also where you have most resources. So then it would make more sense to do it elsewhere, but then how do you pick? So I think that's why I kind of gravitated towards online a little bit more, is just to provide that opportunity equally to anyone that could be interested. But I think the events need to happen. I think it could be a combination of like having those annual conferences or like multiple conferences every year, or have like one conference every year and have they like move different cities in the US and do it that way. I think that's one way that could be really effective. But what I was thinking with the website is, yes, it's similar to the masterclass, but we're really not talking about like masterful topics, right? Like this is pretty basic stuff.
That's true.
For people in that sphere. So I think that works, but I think one thing that could make it still human is like, imagine that someone like sees a video advertisement on YouTube and they're like, hey, learn to do your taxes here. They click, they go on the website and it's like a video and it's like, hi, welcome to our website. Like, we're going to coach you through this. Send us your email to get started or something. And then it has them like select what they want. So it's a really like customized experience. And then part of it, they like put in their phone number and we actually call them. Like we actually have someone call them and be like, hey, like we know you're working on this, this, and this based on what they put in the form. And then you call them and you say, okay, like what do you need help with most pressingly? We just want to let you know we're there. So we've got those resources. We emailed them to you. If you have any questions, just contact our support team or email us. Like I think that would still convey in a very real way the human experience, without necessarily having the limitations of a physical type operation.
Right, and I think, I don't know if you guys have ever, I think that the way we can incorporate the events thing in there is that people, like if it's worked for one person and they share it at their school or something, they go back to high school, tell a teacher, whatever the teacher tells like the administration, they can go to the website and learn about how they can make their own event. So like a TEDx event, all it does, it's people, it's like BYU does TEDx every year, BYU TEDx event. Nobody like from TED, whoever, you know, the organization consists of, goes there. It's all BYU. They just structure it in like the same way that every TEDx event is throughout the world. And so we could say like, here are the tools for your high school or your college or your junior college to be able to have this event, and you teach, like you need one accountant and you need one mechanic, and like, so then we can just give them the toolbox for how to create an event on their own. And then we can have little pop-up events, like whoever wants to do it just does it. And if it's someone in LA, great. If it's someone in Wyoming, great. All they have to do is go to the website, learn the structure, and then they make their own event, and we could give them a sign or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
They can use our videos.
I think that's really key. And then that allows us to outsource like the kind of menial stuff, like menial parts of it, and really focus on our strength, which is the human interaction of like problem solving and tutoring.
It almost makes it like an MLM, like a multi-level. Yeah. Whoever wants to participate, you just come get your stuff. You do it on your own.
That's actually how Dave Ramsey does his.
That's true.
Courses.
Oh yeah, that's true.
He has, anybody can be a facilitator. They just have to buy the kit, and then they get to start a class wherever, and they don't make money off it, obviously, but he just gives them the material, so we could do something totally like that. I like that.
Sweet.
Cool. Okay, so there's lots of ideas bouncing around.
I feel like that's a really good basic.
Morgan, what do you got?
I like all of this. I I guess I'm also thinking about how can we make this so that it doesn't feel like work, you know? Because like as soon as something like starts to feel too much like homework, it's like this isn't as cool as I thought it was. So I think we also want to focus on making it like an engaging, like interesting, humorous, like it's also entertaining, like teaching in an entertaining way. One idea I had a while ago was maybe we could like create what the videos are going to be about and then have like celebrities or social media influencers come in and then teach it, because they'll bring like that whole energy to it of like, okay, this is interesting. I like this person. Chris Pratt is cool. Like, what's he going to teach you about taxes? You know, like it sort of would create that built-in entertainment factor. So you wouldn't have to work too hard to make it interesting.
That's a really good idea.
That is, yeah. Dang.
Okay.
This is going to be so awesome, and we're going to do that group that's on next semester's rubric.
Yes.
On the syllabus. Because we got Chris Pratt to be in our nonprofit. Going global in 4 weeks.
I think probably a combination of those two would be cool. Like, what if you, because like the thing is, like, maybe Chris Pratt doesn't know much about taxes, right? Like, probably has a CPA, you know? What if it was like Chris Pratt and his CPA talk about taxes? You've got like, the actual instruction, but you also have like Chris Pratt being funny.
Yeah. Or CPA teaches Chris Pratt.
Oh, that's.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
That's
okay,
really
well,
cool.
Morgan, you're in charge of contacting Chris Pratt.
I'll try my best.
We will talk to you in weeks. I think that's a good idea. I think that'll help us know how to know how to like at least compile our initial canvas.
Yeah, we have more than enough. Okay.
How are you doing on time,
Let's
Aubrey?
divvy up. Let's divvy up. I really need to get running. Let's kind of look at the canvas blocks and figure out who does what. So.
Okay.
Do you want me to share my screen again?
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure.
Okay, so there's the business idea. I already put that in there. I can change it if you guys want.
Well, we probably have to because it's a little bit different, but yeah.
Yeah, for sure. We need to do market size and impact. The value proposition 1, 2, and 3. Customer segments 1, 2, and 3. Customer relationships, the get, keep, and grow. Direct and indirect channels. Revenue model. Costs and metrics. Partners, Chris Pratt. Key resources, Chris Pratt. Key activities. Your business. Yeah. So I feel like we just kind of went through the key activities pretty well, like what we'd be doing as far as the web.
I'm happy to do, we probably need to do 2 or so each. Like you've already done some. I'm happy to do the activities. And then what's the one above that?
Key resources, human, financial, intellectual, physical.
Yeah, I can do that. Or the partners, whatever makes sense for you guys. I can do the resources and the key activities.
Okay.
Should we actually, I haven't looked at what do we actually have to do this week?
Just complete the canvas, basically.
Okay.
Wait, don't we have to fill this out, right? This whole PowerPoint?
Right. Well, yeah, it's
this is our canvas.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's one summary slide where we identify the pros and cons of each idea and the one idea the group will work on. So We can do that, and then we work on the template, and then we submit it. So
Okay.
it's really pretty straightforward. I think they're trying to ease us in. So
I can do the pros and cons of each idea.
Okay.
cool.
Is someone writing this down, or do you want me to write it down? I can.
I'm kind of writing it down. Yeah.
Here, I'll start it like an email so that everybody else.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see what.
Or
Okay.
should we do it on like a Google Doc?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Google Doc all the way, please.
Okay.
If we
Do
can.
you guys want me to just share this with you?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
Cool.
Um.
And then you can just write it in there. Like, just write in this canvas that's
Oh yeah.
just write the names of who's doing it. No, but you can go even with at the bottom where you were just there. Just write
Okay,
it in there.
yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah.
And then that's really easy. It's all right there.
I gotta open it in Google Slides real quick so I can edit. Okay, so you're doing
Key resources and key activities.
And then just whatever ones pertain to that. Oh, come on. Just do it on this. It's all formatted, all weird. What? Okay, I might just have to write it down in an email and then I can do it later because it's faster.
That's fine. Yeah.
And then what did you guys want to do, Tim and Morgan?
Did somebody say they were doing the key partners?
Nope.
Nope. That's you. It's Chris Pratt. It's your job.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
all to
I
you.
mean, I'll do key partners. And I could do I could do the value proposition or customer segments. How about customer? I'll do customer segments and key partners.
So do you guys, I mean, I already did the customer segments as far as like who would be donors. Do you guys want to change those or did you guys like those? Because
I think they're fine.
like our customers are the people who are going to be giving us like
giving the money and
like funding it mostly. I remember in one of the group meetings we had, Brother Ellsworth said, like, make sure that your customers aren't the people buying tickets to your event. Like, they're the people who are giving the biggest donations.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, so we are essentially already have those if you guys like them.
Okay.
So what do we still need then? What are the ones we still
channels.
need to do?
We need to do channels. We need a revenue model and cost and metrics.
Oh, okay. I
feel like I could do the cost and metrics, but I would definitely need to collaborate with you more, Albert, because you're the numbers guy. And you're probably going to think more of what requires.
Yeah.
I can still do it though.
Yeah, I can do it. Do you want to do let's see. Do you want to do the key? Well, okay, I can just do it. I'll just do that and then the key resource and then the key activities. It's really not going to take that long.
Okay, you'll do cost and metrics. Okay.
I can do channels. Is there enough for the other two that aren't here to do?
Wait, Albert, you don't need to do cost and metrics. We could have, if Tim does channels, then we can have Joseph do revenue model and Davis do cost and metrics.
There we go.
And then I can redo the value proposition based off what we talked about in our
Perfect.
in our thing. Does that and I can do the market size and impact as well.
Perfect.
Yeah, that works. It looks like you've got a good start on that. So yeah, I'll just do the key resources and the key activities then.
Okay, and then channels is Tim, and then we'll tell the other guys. Okay.
Awesome.
Cool.
Is there anything that I can do or?
You
doing
got,
the
Is there anything left?
you're on key partners, Morgan. Yeah, I think that's honestly good.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, I think we're good.
Alrighty. Awesome. Well, anything else we need? You guys need?
I don't think so. Are we good to go?
When do we want to reconvene, or when do
Oh,
we
yeah.
need? Who's going to submit this actually? McKenna,
Can
are
we
you
have
going to
it
do
done?
it? Or?
Can we have it done by Friday or even tomorrow night, like tomorrow night or Friday? So then, I mean, McKenna, I don't want to put too much on you, but it kind of sounds like you've got a good grip on this presentation. So maybe we can get that to you by either tomorrow night or Friday night, and then we can have it submitted by Saturday. Does that work?
Yeah, so you're going to be submitting it because you're the group leader.
Okay. Okay.
So it has to be submitted through your iLearn. But yeah, I mean, if everybody, I can share it in the Google Drive so that everybody can just work on it through Google Drive, and then we all have access to it, and then you could take it and submit it through there. Does that work?
Yeah. So can we just set like a deadline so we can all be done and get it done? Yeah, I don't know how quickly you guys are able to get it done. I'm gonna get it done tomorrow morning probably, but either tomorrow night or like Friday night would be awesome because my Saturdays tend to be nuts. But
I think it should be pretty easy if the other guys just watch our presentation, like watch this video. I think they'll get a good idea of what it is, and I think we could have it done by tomorrow at 11 p.m. Mountain Standard.
Yeah, is that realistic for you guys?
Yeah, that's for me.
Okay.
Morgan?
Sounds good. Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, perfect. Cool.
Okay. Awesome. And then also, as far as meeting every week, do we want to keep it on Wednesdays? And we need to change the to an evening time so Davis can come.
Did he? I think he said Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays in the evening. I don't think he said Wednesday.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So let's just chat over email and figure it out.
Okay.
I mean, again, I'm basically free whenever. Like evenings are not like the best, but yeah, I'll just make it work. So yeah, but we can.
So I'm gonna send out a follow-up email about like this meeting to kind of highlight what we talked about. So I'll put that in there.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Awesome.
Thank
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Albert.